In today's video, we're telling the truth about chemical versus mineral sunscreens. We're busting the myths, we're cutting through the hype, and we're discussing my favorites and how you should choose your favorites. We also have a giveaway, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. We're about to get right into it. So I'm Mona, and thank you for stopping by. If you enjoy this content, consider subscribing so you can see more videos like this one. We're going to jump into the basics today, and then we're going to discuss my favorites and how you should choose your favorite sunscreen. One of the sunscreens I discussed today was gifted to me by SkinStore.com. I've worked with them before, so when they reached out and asked if I wanted to choose a product, I chose one of my favorite sunscreens. So we'll talk about that more when we get to that point in the video, and they did offer a discount code for it, and I'll share that with you at that time as well. So let's hop in. Let's level the playing field. Let's talk about the science in the nutshell and what the average consumer should know and be aware of regarding sunscreens. I've tried to take all of that science, being an RN and a science geek, and boil it down to something that is helpful and beneficial to you in a short amount of time. When in doubt, always talk to your doctor. I am just giving my opinion based on research and an enthusiastic interest in sunscreen because I have been affected by skin cancer myself. Everyone should wear sunscreen. Let's start with that. Everyone, no matter what skin color you have, you can get skin cancer. About 3.3 million people or more each year get some type of skin cancer. This can cause disfigurement, it can cause death in some cases, or it can cause both. You can have disfigurement due to cutting. I have a couple of spots on my face from removals, and then sometimes that treatment is not successful and someone will succumb to the disease. As a nurse, I have cared for people who have lost battles with melanoma or other skin cancers that have become invasive. So this is not to scare you, it's just to encourage you to protect yourself. Sunscreens protect against both UVA and UVB skin damage and wrinkles. UVA is usually what I think of as the aging rays, and UVB is what I usually think of as the burning rays. Both are serious. A lot of skin cancers come from sunburns that you have as a child, but it's never too late to start protecting your skin. Both chemical and mineral sunscreens are considered effective and safe by the FDA at the current time. There's a lot of hype about whether chemical sunscreens are dangerous. We're going to talk about that today. Generally, mineral or physical sunscreen describes sunscreens containing zinc oxide and or titanium dioxide in the US. Other countries have other options. Currently in the US, those are basically our options. Likewise, chemical sunscreens refer to the typical other 12 ingredients in the US, including oxybenzone, avobenzone, and octasolate. There are others. Contrasting the two as physical and chemical is not exactly accurate because both contain chemicals. Water is a chemical. Oxygen is a chemical. So the names are misleading. So is the fear-mongering out there. I've seen headlines, protect your babies, chemical sunscreens have been found in the bloodstream. Typically, zinc and titanium dioxide are considered more natural, but they have to be processed to remove toxic contaminants at very high temperatures, and they're often coated in synthetic chemicals. It's not completely natural, and synthetic is not always bad. Do your homework. And don't succumb to the hype. Figure things out for yourself. Make your own decisions or in conjunction with your physician. Don't just read some headline somewhere and think that you should feel a certain way. To use in sunscreen, they're chemically altered. These physical, mineral, what are considered natural sunscreens. They can also potentially create free radicals when they encounter UV rays, which is something that we try to avoid. It is true that testing has found that some components of chemical sunscreens can be found in your blood or your urine. That sounds terrifying, and it might make you want to avoid those, but that is not necessarily bad. A lot of things that we ingest or that we put on our skin is absorbed through the skin into our bloodstream and passes through our urine and can be detected. Technology today is very advanced. They can pick up pretty much anything. I mean, you have hair tests for drugs, and you can tell what people have done for 6 months back. Yes, we are able to detect certain chemicals in some sunscreens in blood or urine, but that does not mean that they're harmful. And as of today, testing and scientific studies say that they're safe. Our sunscreens are regulated by the FDA like a drug. So occasionally they'll okay a drug and they'll come back and say, well, we found this not to be safe. It is possible that eventually one day that will happen with a chemical sunscreen. To date, both physical/mineral and chemical sunscreens are safe. If you apply Benadryl creams, cortisol creams, components of makeup, perfume, lotions, etc., you're going to find them or some of them in your blood and urine, but it doesn't make them dangerous. So remember, no current scientific data that's legitimate in a legitimate scientific study will say that chemical sunscreens are harmful. All sunscreens, regardless of SPF, can rub off or break down in the course of 2 hours. So don't think that one protects you more than the other. You need to reapply no matter what the SPF is and no matter what the sunscreen type is to get full protection from the sun. It is true that chemical sunscreens can irritate some skin types. If you're overly sensitive, you may prefer a physical or a mineral sunscreen. Physical sunscreens can be so white that darker skin tones won't wear them. So both have their pros and cons. I think it's more important that you choose a sunscreen based on price, compatibility with skincare ingredients, and makeup. I choose mine based on the highest possible coverage, the price point, and whether or not it agrees and plays nice with my makeup and my other skincare ingredients, whether it's physical or whether it's chemical. And I like a combination of both in a lot of cases. So I'm going to show you my favorites and the ones I repeat purchase because I use them. Then we're going to talk about coral reefs and my closing thoughts. So let's start with the Elta MD because Elta MD is the brand that gifted me their sunscreen. Elta MD is a very well-known sunscreen brand. I have used this many times before. It is one of my favorites. So when SkinStore.com asked me if I would like to pick something from the store in a campaign that they're doing, I said I want the sunscreen because I know that I'm going to use it. This is one that I particularly like. There are many Elta sunscreens that I use this and have loved, but I like this one in particular. This is Elta MD Skincare UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46, and it calms and protects acne prone skin. So this is good for my acne prone girls out there. It's also good for anybody who has rosacea, redness, sensitive skin, which I have very sensitive skin. I have rosacea, I'm prone to redness. I like this because it has transparent zinc oxide. This is a combo sunscreen with zinc oxide. It also has niacinamide in it. It's high purity niacinamide, transparent zinc oxide, UVA, UVB protection, and it is for people with acne, hyperpigmentation, and rosacea and sensitive skin, which applies to me. It also has octinoxate in it. So thank you SkinStore.com for supplying this. I'm going to put the code up on the screen and also type it in the description. This product maintains skin health by freeing skin of fatty acid levels and reducing redness. It's oil-free, non-comedogenic, and it can be worn with or without makeup. And Elta MD has shared a special discount code with you guys, so you can find out what the specific offer is once you have added the code into your shopping cart. So, my other favorites. My all-time favorite is by City Beauty. It is a Skin Perfecting Daily Veil. This is a mineral sunscreen. I have showed you guys this before. It is my favorite, but not the most purchased because the price point is extremely high. The reason that I love this so much is that it is a combination sunscreen and primer. Now, darker skin tones probably couldn't use this. This comes out with kind of a pink consistency. I am so pale that this does not leave a cast on my skin once it absorbs. But what it does do is it blurs my pores. I have a lot of texture and I have very enlarged pores, and this is something that truly does both. So it is a primer that blurs my pores to a point that I feel confident in my skin while giving me sun protection. However, since I've discovered a new primer by Essence, which I will have linked below, that is like so inexpensive and does a really great job of blurring these pores, I can use a more affordable sunscreen. So I have been flip-flopping the top two between my Elta MD and my Dermatology. So the other one that I like is the Dermatology Broad Spectrum SPF 45. It protects against UV rays, high purity niacinamide also, and hyaluronic acid and transparent zinc oxide. And the price point is good. And they have recently come out with a new physical tinted moisturizer, SPF 44 Universal Tint. This is all mineral as well, and it is something that I think my darker skin friends could wear because it's tinted, so you don't see the white cast. And a lot of tinted mineral sunscreens don't work for me because I am so fair that they actually are too dark for me. This one blends in. You can see it is darker than my skin, but I think it's as close to a universal tint as you can get because it blends in and your skin color takes over, but there's no cast. The last one I'm going to mention is Paula's Choice, and this is a pure chemical sunscreen. I have two right here. This is definitely one I repeat purchase. This is Resist, and it's definitely for normal to dry skin. I like it because there is no cast, because it's a chemical sunscreen, and because it's also a moisturizer, and it's SPF 50, and it has antioxidants in it. So it's a silky cream that hydrates the skin and evens the skin tone and helps prevent UV damage and signs of aging, and it has niacinamide in it. Two other products I'm going to mention. That is a lip balm. This is by Kula. This is Lip Lux. It's only got SPF 15 Sport, but I really love it. I carry this in my purse, and it's just so easy to keep reapplying. It's very hydrating, very moisturizing. It feels good on my lips. It doesn't affect my lipstick or my lip color, so it's really a winner. And the last one I'm going to tell you about is by Color Science. This is 50 Broad Spectrum SPF Sunscreen, and it is water resistant for 80 minutes. And it is a pure mineral sunscreen with titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. And this is a powder. Since you have to reapply every 2 hours, a lot of times when you're on the go or you're working or you have makeup on, you don't want to put more sunscreen on in 2 hours. This little powder closes up, you toss it in your purse, and you're ready to go. I just tap it like this, and then I just put it on my face until the powder comes out. The thing with this is you want to make sure that you're getting even coverage. You can also use this on your scalp and your hairline to stop sun exposure there. So last thing, we're going to talk about the coral reefs. So we've heard so much about damage to the coral reefs. Hawaii has changed what they will allow you to use in Hawaii as far as sunscreens because of the coral reefs. However, studies don't support the headlines on this, not the extent that the headlines read. Again, this is more hype and more drama. There is a minutia of truth in this, but there are so many things that affect the coral reefs, much more than sunscreen. And if you read any legitimate article by scientists, you will find that sunscreen is at the bottom of a very, very long list of things that hurt the coral reefs. Some, Not all chemical sunscreen ingredients can potentially cause coral reef bleaching, which is caused by stressors, and that can cause algae, which is usually inside the coral reefs, to leave, and this can be permanent or it can be reversible. So sometimes it's like it gets shocked because of the stress, and it's like the coral reef is stunned, and it's reversible after a period of time, and the bleaching resolves and the coral turns back its natural color. And other times bleaching can be permanent and cause coral death, but you want to check the science. Zinc oxide, which is mineral and physical, also can cause slight bleaching, but bigger causes of bleaching of the coral reefs are global warming, when there is a temperature change in the oceans or the waters near coral reefs. That causes the coral reefs to have much more damage than a sunscreen. Oil spills, herbicides, everything can be a poison in large amounts. The amounts of sunscreen in the ocean may not be as dangerous as other stressors in the ocean, is what I'm saying. The highest chances would be if you're at a popular beach with high tourist concentrations where you have a lot of people in the water near a coral reef with sunscreens on. And not every chemical sunscreen is dangerous to a coral reef. There's like a list of ingredients, and titanium dioxide nanoparticles is on that list. Do your science, do your homework on that. Wear mineral sunscreen that is safe for reefs when you're near one. In conclusion, we know that sunscreens reduce skin cancer. Any kind of sunscreen. Wear a sunscreen. We know that sunscreens reduce disfigurement and possible death and signs of aging. And no legitimate or well-done scientific study has conclusively proven that any type of sunscreen currently on the market is dangerous to the human body or proven to be a big danger to coral reefs. I would ask your doctor if you have questions, and I would pick a sunscreen that's in your budget, that has a high, which means over 30 SPF coverage, and that works well in your skin type, meaning your skin tone, your skin type, whether it be oily, sensitive, dry, for example, and avoid the harmful ingredients for coral reefs if you're swimming near one. I would also add in wide-brimmed hat and sun protective clothing while limiting exposure to the sun, and not just rely on a sunscreen, especially during peak times. I am giving away a sunscreen as my giveaway because I think it's so important that you use one. So important. That will be Dermatology's newest physical tinted moisturizer, SPF 44 Universal Tint, all mineral, or you get to choose the Dermatology Clear Broad Spectrum Protect SPF 45 for anyone in the US. For this one, it is an international giveaway, but because I am sending it directly from the Dermatology website, if you win and you're international, I am asking you to allow me to PayPal or Venmo you the equivalent price so that you can purchase a sunscreen in your country. The giveaway is not affiliated with the brand or YouTube and will be purchased with my own money by me. To enter, all you have to do is be publicly subscribed to my channel and type in the comments, enter me. You also want to tell me what product you choose and give me an email address that I can contact you at. The winner will be announced Sunday, August 29th, and you have until Wednesday, August 25th, 12 midnight Central Standard Time to enter. Thank you all for being here with me today. Go out, stay safe, and live like Mel.